Attention everybody, the views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits.
Do we have
Good morning! Coming to you live from Acts Media Group headquarters here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri. It's the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay with your hosts, Matt and Jay. Hey, hey. Steve is running late today, but he will be here shortly. Still no go on the YouTube. Frustrating. Short of a miracle. My heart to you. I forgot to get coffee.
So did I.
Oh no! All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Drive with Matt and Jay. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
Glad to have everybody on board with us today. Today's topic: words are powerful.
Words are powerful.
Words are powerful.
Words powerful.
Perfer. We can see how many weird words we can say. Perfer. 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 So it's a beautiful day in the Ozarks. Of course, I don't know what the temperature is supposed to be today, but it's going to be great. Yeah, still no go on the YouTube. That disappoints me very much.
You.
I mean, yesterday yours went fine. Yours worked just fine yesterday.
Hey, and I'm trying to find the
peace of mind.
The video.
The video.
The video.
I got the notification from Facebook. I really don't know what's going on with this software, and it's frustrating. I'm gonna have to, on my days off, I'm gonna have to call and talk to YouTube and find out what's going on. Because everything is working right on the software.
All right, well, I'm just going to go to Acts Media Group. I won't even be able to share it, bro.
You can share it on Acts Media Group on Facebook. Yeah. Who do we got here? Let's see what we got. Steve Schultz, good morning. Audrey Snyder, welcome to the party. What do you, and about?
I don't know. So good morning. What did you say the topic was supposed to be today?
Words are powerful.
Words are powerful.
They're powerful.
Silence is powerful too.
Silence is, yeah. Sometimes silence can be louder than loudness. Well,
you know, powerful words you got there.
You know, I'm saying.
Well,
that's a deep subject. I'm sorry. Can't help myself. So we got Steve.
Hello.
Steve McAllister.
We've got somebody out there.
Steve, are you out there? Oh, hey. Yeah, we're live.
Good morning.
Who do we got in there? Oh, there you are. Yep. Okay, I see you. Welcome to the party. We'll see. You'll be coming up next.
We just started.
They like getting here early.
It's 8:04.
So, yeah, today's topic is words are powerful, and words are powerful indeed.
Steve McAllister says yes.
You could lift somebody up, or you can put somebody down. With one word, you can make somebody's day better, or you can make somebody's day worse.
Yep, and it still is no YouTube.
Nope. I don't understand it. I've done everything that I know how to do.
Have we contacted YouTube?
No, not yet. I haven't had time to. You know how hard it is to. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are contacted. Oh, whoa.
What would you do?
Whoa.
What's going on here?
No, I'm just being silly.
Yeah.
Do you see it? Watch. You'll see it here in a second.
How are words powerful? Why did you say that? Why did you choose that as a?
I don't know. You know, it just came to my mind.
Came to your mind.
Yeah, we were.
Oh yeah, whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I see it there.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy time. Well, you know, I've had people, heard people like cussing up a storm when they're talking, and it takes away from the power of the words that they're speaking, in my opinion. But also, like, let's say, for instance, there's somebody you're training at a job.
Yeah.
And if you talk to them like they're dumb and you're mean to them, you're going to make their day worse. You're going to make it to where they don't want to come into work and stuff because you're not very positive at all, you know? I don't know. My first thought was to put, watch what you say because you never know who's watching or who's listening. You know, like we could say something really rude about somebody and completely destroy our witness. If somebody's watching, they know we're Christian, they hear us say something mean or put somebody down or whatever. I didn't really have any specific thing about it I wanted to talk about. It's just words are powerful.
Right.
The word is the most powerful.
The word is powerful.
The word is powerful.
Amen, brother.
Because God spoke into the darkness and created the light.
Yes.
And that indicates that he said the word, be. Be light. And poof, there it was.
Yes.
So, anyways, extended the mask law for Springfield until January. No surprise there. Still no YouTube. Dennis Everson, I don't know what is going on with it. It says Stream 1 is working fine. And, I really, it's definitely a puzzle.
Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord himself is the rock eternal. There's Mr. Steve. And
there's old Mickey Mac.
Isaiah 26:4.
Silence is golden.
Good morning.
Timeless is golden.
Silence.
Silence is golden.
I was listening to you guys.
Till January. Steve Schultz.
They've extended the mask law for Springfield till January.
Have
like
they
I said,
really?
no surprise there. I knew that was going to happen. We're probably going to be wearing these masks like for the next multiple years.
I heard late fall of 2021.
Jessica Thomas.
Welcome to the party, Jessica. Oh, yeah, I need to share this. You guys need to share this too.
Yeah.
Share it on your timeline and on your story, and that'll get more people to watch it. And that helps us out a great deal.
A great deal.
A great deal. Not just a good deal, but great deal.
Yes, I know a famous little tiger that does that.
Oh, we need to turn your mic on.
He is famous.
Well, come on
I'll get it.
now. I haven't been gone that long.
What do you... Oh.
Nimram did a great job yesterday.
You tell us what you think about words.
Words?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm a guy that should know, right?
Yeah.
Words, it depends on how you word things. Words in a sentence, it can mean a lot. I mean, it depends on how you say it, because texting, when you're wording something in a text, can mean something to one person.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if the microphone.
It's not on.
Or not. Oh, it's not even on yet.
I can't really hear
I
myself.
think I can hear you. Yeah.
You can
But
hear
you
me?
need to be turned up.
Maybe I can't hear myself, and then that doesn't mean it's not on. So I hope everybody out there is doing well.
How's that?
Yeah, it's starting to sound better. For some reason I still can't hear myself, but okay, I can hear. Yep, that's perfect. If it sounds too loud to you, we can always turn it down. What? Oh, she had it up on her phone.
How about now?
Yeah, it sounds great. She
Yeah, that's
said
better.
that she had it up on her phone just to.
See if we could hear you.
Yes.
Somebody now.
See?
With one word.
Jessica Thomas. The art of forgiveness. She wants to talk about the art of forgiveness.
Forgiveness is.
How is it an art?
I don't know if it's an art. I never heard of really art of forgiveness. I guess there is an art of forgiveness, but I don't know how to really describe that.
My experience with forgiveness came through the big book in the Word of God, the big book in AA, which it really is an art. It's a creative way of getting to it, especially when you start with a person's resentments.
Right.
And that can lead you to forgiveness.
Well,
And what you realize is that if the reasons you have to resent somebody else has a reason to resent you. And so it's important to forgive so that you can be forgiven, to understand the need for it.
no, later on, I never spoke to Johnny about it. The kid that I told you that beat me up in my testimony that beat me up, and I retaliated with his brother. I never really expected a sorry, and he never thank you. He never really
Gracias.
He never really said anything, and I didn't want to bring it up because it did hurt. I mean, words hurt, and obviously he did hurt me, but he never brought it up, and I didn't want to bring it up to bring up old wounds.
Right.
But obviously, I think when you're a kid, you're one way, and your words speak one way. But when you're an adult, words hurt worse because you're an adult. You're a mature adult, and you're using words that you'd think that would come from a teenager or a kid, and you're acting like a kid, but you're an adult. So I guess depending on the wording, and like I started to tell you, that texting can mean a lot just from what you're texting, but you might not mean it the way it's being
Understood.
And that happened to Rachel and I both a few years ago with a long text, and I'm like, where's this coming from? And then, is that what you mean? No. And I had to verbally call the person and verbally actually say, this is what I meant. It's hard. Now that there's texting out there, it's hard between texting and verbal.
Yeah, serious conversations shouldn't be had over text because you can't hear tone inflection and things like that. Because you can say something and it can be totally misconstrued if you can't hear. You can't express sarcasm via text. Sarcasm via text just sounds like what it really is. It's meanness. No, sarcasm is not meanness. Like, we're sarcastic all the time.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
See? There you go. I said, does that...
I figured you'd be the one to say
it's
that.
Like, I detect a hint of sarcasm, Jay. And he goes, well, you should, because I'm laying it on pretty thick.
I'm not sarcastic, am I, Rachel?
See, that good example of sarcasm.
Right there.
Which you cannot express on text.
No, and that's why if you're going to converse with somebody on a serious issue, use the old-fashioned way called the phone.
And even that is missing an aspect of communication that's important.
Yeah.
Face-to-face, if it's something you really need to talk to that person about and that they have the time, you really should meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if you just want to punch him in the face?
Yeah.
Can't do that over the phone.
That's a good point.
See, that was sarcasm.
Yes, it was.
I don't like punching people in the face.
It's no fun at all.
It just messes up their facial and
messes up their
It's usually an end to the discussion. Or the beginning.
Good morning, Rob Jupkins.
Rob Zibkins, what? Who is that?
Jupkins.
Dubkins.
He's the international president for the Campers for Christ.
Ah, CFC.
Yes, and by the way, I just joined. We're reorganizing and getting a chapter started in the Branson-Hollister area.
The Branson-Hollister area.
The Branson-Hollister.
Good morning, Uncle Ray.
Uncle Ray, how's it going? I got to give a shout out to Nimmer Roden. She did a great job yesterday, and I appreciate. Are you feeling better? I mean, I know you said you were wiped out yesterday.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do feel better today than I did yesterday. I was pretty wiped out.
Yeah, I could tell your voice and everything.
I was like, I've been dealing with this issue with the software not broadcasting to YouTube, and it's quite frustrating.
Yeah.
Really.
But I just wanted to give a shout out to Nimmer Roden and for hanging in there and helping me out. I just couldn't help yesterday. Poor Randy. He was going to bring me up, and his thumb started really vibrating and hurting him, and he was up
His thumbs are vibrating.
His thumbs were vibrating or in pain. He had ice on it, and he said he
What
was
does he
afraid
have? Carpal tunnel?
I don't know if that's what it is, or he said that he's supposed to have a doctor's appointment this week on what's going on, but I thought it was carpal. It sounds like carpal
I thought he said he had an appointment Thursday. Now, I do want to bring someone up that we all need to pray for. I'm not going to get into the details or the specifics, but let's just say that she needs prayer extremely badly, and that is Jackie Scott.
Oh, yeah.
So
and Randall Oliver, I guess he's doing all right, but man, she's been struggling herself.
Oh, James Randall Phillips.
Yeah.
Randall Phillips.
Yep.
He's got to go in for another surgery too, so we need to pray for him also. Pray for that whole group of people.
Bless her heart. I hope she does well. You remember Jackie Scott, Rachel, right?
See, that could have been one whole name with a bunch of hyphens in it. Jackie Scott, Rachel Wright.
Yeah, you know what? And there are some actors and actresses that have that kind of. They do.
Yeah.
You know, at first I gotta be honest, and I would anyway. But what's her name from that big house that's just full of people?
You can mention the name Full House.
I keep on forgetting about that, but Full House.
It's like businesses and stuff, really, or retail stores, big retail chains
true.
And things like
that.
that.
Full House when Mary-Kate Ashley Olsen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, man, what a long name for a little girl. I had no idea she was a twin.
Oh yeah, because they can't legally work one child like that.
Yeah, that would be too much for one child. And when I'm first watching, I'm like, wow, they're putting a lot on this little kid. And then when I'm like, oh, wait
Morning,
a minute,
Jana?
okay, that makes sense. Jana?
Jay, you're quiet. That's what Uncle Ray says.
Yes.
Jay, you're
quiet.
quite what?
Why are you quiet?
Oh, quiet. Oh, okay.
I'm just listening.
He's every once in a while. That's okay. That's fine.
I can't handle it.
Well, then let's you and I jibber jabber until he can think of something.
No, I mean, I can't handle when people are quiet.
Hey, when you're too quiet, that something's up. Maybe that's what.
Well, I know, Jay. We need to pray for Jay's back too, because his back's been hurting.
That's probably why you're
I
quiet.
just called you out.
That's one reason why you're quiet is because if you're in pain, why talk?
Yeah.
Or maybe you should talk and then get your mind off of the pain, but then depends on the.
Well, I wasn't thinking about the pain. I was thinking about when it says. So the topic is that words are powerful. So they have power in many ways, both for good and for bad. For positive and for negative, or for correction, or for
Yeah, like if you call somebody stupid, that's bad.
That's a hurtful thing.
That is a very hurtful thing.
That can really scar you too.
Yeah.
But in the right context, though, it's necessary sometimes to bring, because stupid actually is a word that also is powerful and has meaning.
Well, if you say somebody is stupid, that's bad. If you say something they decided to do is stupid,
or a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, yeah. What is the definition of the word stupid?
My teacher used to say, my third, fourth grade teacher, people are stupid, or things aren't stupid, people are. It's like, what?
Well, you might say a lot of things, just trying to work something out. If you're trying to work out a thought or make sense of a situation, you kind of go over all the aspects of it, and it leads you in many different directions, and you're trying to figure it out. So, it's a thoughtful process where you get it right and you get it wrong, and you come up with a conclusion that makes the best sense to you. So that's a process that you use words for that don't always, if you edit them out in individual statements, they sound really ignorant, but really, in fact, they are ignorant. And what you're trying to do is to state things the way you best understand them, and to expose your own ignorance, and to find the answers to the questions that you might have that would, open your eyes to something that would bring you knowledge or wisdom or make some sense of something.
So, definition of stupid. Definition number 1. Slow of mind. Given to unintelligent decisions or acts, or acting in an unintelligent or careless manner. Lacking intelligence or reason, or brutish. The other one is obtuse. Dulled in feeling or sensation. Another word could be torpid. Still, stupid from the sedative. That's an example. Marked by or resulting from unreasoned thinking or acting, senseless. A stupid decision. Number 4, lacking interest or point. A stupid event. As an example. Vexatious or exasperating. The stupid car won't start.
I've been there or said that.
A stupid person. That's another one.
By the way, good morning, Virginia. And Keith Bradford, good morning. And Bruno.
Bruno?
Bruno's
Hey,
on my watch
Bruno.
party.
Thank
what
you,
doing,
Jenna.
Bruno?
Eventually, I got to get that man on my show.
Durr. Sorry.
I got it.
Durr could be another bad word you could use to somebody, like to make them feel stupid.
Yeah, duh.
Durr.
Or duh.
Or doy. That's one.
Or
Yeah.
boy, I got you tongue-tied there for a minute.
I still haven't I don't have anybody on my watch party yet.
Oh, man. You are somebody. People do care for you. Just
Wanna be somebody.
because they're not on your watch party doesn't mean that people don't care.
I mean, think about how awesome, our brains are even.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear, okay, so what is a word? A word is shaped noises from your mouth that vibrate the air, right?
Okay, I've never heard
And
it
your
put that
ear
way, but-
picks up the vibrations in that air and sends it into your brain, and your brain interprets that air as words.
Yep.
Wow!
Boy.
And that word can make you think of things, can make you feel a certain way, and make you do certain things.
Yeah.
That's true.
It can
But
control your
interpret it,
anger.
contribute in real time to the same thing while
a
it's
high
still in
voice.
the air.
Yes!
A
To multiple people at once.
A high voice, like a frustrated voice, can mean a whole lot of things. Either make you sad, make you really
Happy,
mad,
make
or
you laugh.
That's true. I mean, just because your voice is high doesn't mean it's going to be necessarily bad.
I don't know.
It just depends on how you portray that word.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, if you break it down, what words are, they're just vibrations in the air.
I feel like I'm listening to Sesame Street.
Well, I'm telling you, it's crazy to me that,
Pretty amazing.
you could say something, it'll vibrate the air, your ear picks it up, interprets it, and it goes through the eardrum, vibrates these little hairs on your ear, in your ear canal, sends it to your brain interprets it as a joke, and then your brain gets it and makes you laugh.
Somehow picking out of its of your memory and your bank of knowledge only the relevant things instead of
Like
sorting
that.
through all of it. It just automatically references what's relevant, at least to you. It's a pretty
Right.
amazing process. What an incredible thing, the human mind. And
I know.
Karen
speech.
McAllister, my sister. No.
Uncle Ray says he calls himself stupid sometimes, but never anybody else.
Yeah, well, I do too. Yeah. myself.
I've done that. When you're a kid, you're
Good morning,
gonna,
Larry Melton. Good
But
to see you,
when
brother.
you're a kid, you're gonna tell a kid you're stupid because you're a kid. But then when you grow up,
Kids are mean.
they're-
Kids don't think about the effects their words have on people. You know.
Yeah, and I don't really let it bother me anymore. But there are some memories that I think, man, I remember when that person did that to me or said that to me. Why?
My mind is blown right now. We are talking into a microphone that is vibrating a diaphragm and sending it through wires into
creating
that,
electricity.
into this, creating electricity, and it goes through that device and then into this device and then out to the internet to somebody else's speakers, which vibrates the air. And I'm telling you, is this crazy? I mean, am I crazy for? I mean, it's you break it down. It is, and that's just speaking.
Whoa,
That's
I feel
just
like I'm in
communication.
science class, but that's okay. We're learning something. It's educational today, folks.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of stuff I think about. My brain runs with
okay.
this kinds of stuff.
It happens.
I appreciate the power that God he has, and that he designed us in a way that, I mean, that's just one aspect of it, so we can communicate to one another wirelessly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Karen, good morning. Seriously.
True wireless right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, and like sound, how it moves so slow compared to light. You don't think about that until you're out in a big field and you have somebody standing on one side of a 5-acre field, and they do this, and all you see is this, and then you hear it a few seconds later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I have no. Even on TV, TV sometimes is like 2 seconds ahead of what movies.
Think about the guitar. It vibrates a string,
Mm-hmm.
which vibrates the air.
And then you put it into a sound,
into an echo chamber, which magnifies the vibrations and the sound of the air, and then it sends it out.
Because if it's not plugged in, all you hear is just a bing, bum, dum. You don't really.
Have you ever seen a video? Like, there was a guy that put his phone on record and set it in the hole of his guitar and started strumming it, and you could see the sound waves on the strings. The higher ones had little short ones, little small ones, and then the bassier ones were more, you could see the waves a lot better. It's crazy.
Wow.
That would be physics, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think understanding the words that we're using too to be the same. Sometimes we define a word just a little bit different than somebody else does.
Yeah.
Especially
And so
if
it
it's in a
carries
song.
different meaning when it's put into context, because we all have our own context that we build through our own experience. So I can use a word that to you means one thing and to me means a whole nother.
Yeah.
Just like love songs, comedic songs, every song there's a meaning. There's a story behind every song. There really is.
Morning, Jesse.
Words in a song could mean somebody's true life
Talking
story.
about words today, Jesse. Sorry. How they have power.
That's okay. So words can really mean a lot in a song if you're a songwriter.
Yeah, that's
such as yourself.
And words, songs are just like stretched out words in one tone or the other.
and how it comes out of your mouth can mean pretty rough, or it can mean soft and mellow.
Yeah, and the volume of it,
right,
that intensifies feeling. I mean, we're all about this. Is the kind of stuff that you see stereotypical potheads talking about.
But you could tell.
It's like
all we're missing here is a bag of Fritos.
Bag of Fritos, yeah.
Well, on the pot.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah. So interesting stuff.
It is interesting stuff. And it can lift somebody up or it could break them down. What does it talk about in the scripture about the word? The spoken word. Let's see.
The tongue is like a two-edged sword.
Yeah, see.
The tongue is also a spark that can cause your soul to burn.
Fire.
But not really for me to go into it, but just like when I mentioned in my testimony of I couldn't go anywhere, church, school, home, without being ridiculed. Words can hurt, and it stays with you, and some of it can stay with you the rest of your life and bring you so far down that it's really hard to crawl back out unless you really are around a bunch of positive people for a long period of time. All of a sudden you feel pumped up and you're ready to go take the world on. And then there are times when it's like when you're by yourself and you feel overwhelmed, all those thoughts start coming back to you. Like when my dad used to say, "Oh, you're nothing. Oh, you'll never amount to anything." There's times when I felt that way, but then right now, because Rachel's been helping me out and been there for the last 25 years, it really has helped me out, encouraging words. And my sister, Claudia, she's so encouraging to me
Has she always been?
She always has been the caretaker, and Rachel remembered and told me, she said, your sister was always the one that Claudia, not my oldest, but my second oldest, she would always say, Mom, I'll take care of Steve. Don't worry. You go do your thing. So she was always a caretaker.
Isn't it interesting, though, that the words of your father were the ones that carried the most weight and shaped you rather than the words of your sister and your mother and those who were encouraging?
Yes.
Isn't it interesting, though, that sometimes words that are spoken just as loud or even more loudly spoken to you or more frequently or shared by more people to you, with you, that might be encouraging are not the ones we hear.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because we're not concentrating on that.
Well, what is it in ourselves that determine what words we hear the loudest, no matter what volume they're spoken or how frequently they're spoken? I had a teacher who said one time in a reading class, they decided to keep me back, and rightfully so, because I wasn't reading up to the right standard. And so the teacher in front of the whole class, when my mom told me I was staying back, so I cried. Well, my mom told the teacher that I cried and she didn't want me held back. I didn't know my mother went and did this. Well, the teacher announced right in the class in front of all the students, right in the reading class, well, you wouldn't be having a hard time with this if you were in the class you belong in, if you hadn't cried to your mother. Well, let me tell you, she said it one time, never heard those words again.
From her.
But those were some of the loudest words that were ever spoken to me.
Yep.
And they are the ones that I've heard more and that I have that have weighed on me more. And they were only spoken one time. But then throughout my life, the words in my life that are the most frequent, the most caring, that come from a genuine place of love and concern and people who want to build me up and edify me and be a good part of my life, aren't as powerful. Why?
Right.
What is it about us that makes some things more powerful than others?
Yeah. Well, and negative words seem more powerful than the positive words. But that's because we live in a negative world.
Doesn't that depend on who we are, really?
I guess you're right. You're right. It depends on the chemistry of our brain.
Because some people don't hear negative words at all.
Like,
you can
I'm
say
super
whatever
sensitive.
You want about me.
I am super sensitive. So if somebody says something mean to me,
careful what you put out there. Our enemies may come against us with words.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. But when you recognize your enemies, you can choose not to accept those words in the spirit in which they're given. And that has a lot to do with it.
Focus.
I love this. Proverbs 16:24 said, "Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones." That's awesome.
But you have to take and
That's a big
eat.
amen.
Huh?
But you have to take and eat.
Yeah.
You have to listen to those.
Yeah.
You have to give them the weight and the place on the plate that you would give the other things.
You have to
that are
test them
negative.
out, test them out.
And with everything that's gone on with me personally, I would say in the last 10 years since I've been in Branson and Hollister area, it'll be a decade here coming up next year. But anyway, I've learned so much from so many people, and most of it's been positive. Now, there's been a few negative things here and there, but it's been more positive in the last 10 years than it has before I moved here. I had more negative before I moved here. In the last 10 years, I think the positive outweighed the negative. And that's what I really needed. I needed to be somewhere where I had friends that actually cared for me and spoke words of not love, but of kindness. And I've learned, from X, being here at X, you guys have been like brothers. You guys have actually helped me out in quite a few. Before I started being a regular here, I used to watch the morning drive before you guys even came here. And you guys would just lifted my spirits. If I had a bad night, bad morning.
Well, thank you for letting us know that. I mean, it's good to know.
So I've listened to you even before I met you. Well, I've known you and your dad when you used to sing the worship at Acts Church, there for a while. But I didn't really know you. And so I've learned so much from watching people and listening to them that I've turned around and learned a lot. And I feel like you guys have been more like not only my friends, but my teacher.
Well, that's
Thank you.
that's definitely good to hear.
So
And we're glad to be a part of your life like that.
I think, like that example I was given about, I think it was first or second. It was second grade because I should have been held back into first grade. But I think what made those words so powerful is that the words themselves, if they were written in a text, were absolutely true, flawlessly said in truth, right? Mm-hmm. But it was the way they were said and where they were said. It was said among my peers. The weight of them brought some sort of humiliation, and I wonder how it is. I wonder how to change that, right? Okay, so being a sensitive person, sensitive to negativity is what you really mean.
Yeah.
How can we be more sensitive to the positivity? Because it's there. I would argue that there's more positivity in our life than there is negativity.
Yeah, why do we remember
it's just
the
what
negative?
we're most sensitive to.
Yeah, because I've noticed. I mean, that's a good point. We remember the negative more than we do the positive.
Yeah.
Negative sticks out in our mind more than a positive. If you have a negative review of something, that'll spread faster than a positive review of something. Like, let's say you go to a restaurant. Go to a restaurant and they mess up your food and you tell everybody about it. Yet you go there and you have a great time. You enjoy it. You maybe tell a couple people about it. But if you have a bad time, you're going to tell everybody about it.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a context to that too, right? Like, so if I was a friend of the restaurant owner, right? Like, I used to work at Sonic. You could give a bad review of Sonic and it wouldn't affect me at all because I worked it there. I was there. I knew the quality. I knew the cleanliness. I knew, the leadership, and I knew the people that worked there. And so I trusted because I had a deeper connection literally to the place. Right. Isn't that somehow what makes something carry more weight with us than something else? I mean, I think that's a very curious thing, and I want to find out more about that, like how to be more edifying, not because necessarily I want to be better at edifying people. I do my best to be an edifier, but also because I think that for me, I am more sensitive to the negative voices.
Right. And like I said, I've went through that here, and some of it sticks, but some of it's just you have to understand the person who it's coming from, and if you don't understand the person, that's why it hurts. But if you understand the person and how they act to other people, including yourself, then you just have to either blow it off or say, Lord, just forgive them, and go on, because you don't want to let that person words contribute to the rest of your life or to what's going on, because if it brings you down, like
we're live on YouTube.
Oh, yay. Welcome, YouTubers.
That's weird.
Wow. All right. That's good news.
How did that happen?
No idea.
Oh, cool. See, those are good words to hear.
That is cray-cray, you guys.
Yeah. And I do want to give another shout out to a friend who's been she really is like a sister, and her last name just happens to be McAllister. And so we've always said to each other, we're family. And now her mom's one of my Facebook friends. She's like in their 80s, but she's fine. Anyway, Karen and her sister Kathy have been like real sisters to me. And, Kathy's like my cousin. We call each other cuz, but they've been the words that they brought to me have been so encouraging when I've needed it. And that includes some of the other people. If I don't mention your name, that doesn't mean that I don't care or didn't listen to you. But we were 17, 18 years old when we met each other, and we've been like sisters ever since, or sister and brother ever since. And just the words of encouragement. And presently, Julie Westlake Suter, she's going through a lot herself.
Yeah.
But yet she takes time to encourage others, including myself. And she might be down and out, but she knows how to encourage others.
Yeah, I think it's important also to be careful what we do say, because we may not be being understood as the way we are meaning it. You might have a harsh word for somebody that you feel in context or at the timing of it, it may be right in order to do some correction or to help somebody or to teach somebody. But then, in fact, the way they take that may be much more harsh.
Yeah.
I think maybe so is understanding, and sometimes I guess depending on the circumstances, if somebody's speaking or acting in a way that is really harmful to everybody, to harshly correct them, though that may have a very powerful effect on them, and it may be negative, and it may put you in a light as being somebody who is hurtful at the time, to protect or to at least bring balance to a situation where people can see that there's more. You know what I mean? When somebody's being harmful, you might be able to take some of the harm away for everybody else. Does that make sense? Am I being
constructive criticism is, like in a Christian sense, like a youth group. If there's a lot of tension going on, there's constructive criticism where you take that person's side, say, "Hey, sister, brother, I'm saying this in love. I'm saying that this is what needs to happen or should happen," and they need to take that criticism and say, "You know what? I got to make it right." Mm-hmm. Whether it's a youth group, whether it's a college group, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're coming from a standpoint of constructive criticism, that's a lot easier to deal with than destructive criticism.
Yeah, or even, don't you think rebuke even has a place?
Right.
Like Matt was telling stories about how he used to be on his hands and knees crawling around the desk right in the middle of class.
Oh yeah.
That's a frustrating place for a teacher to be. But if he was sensitive,
Morning, Julie.
he
Thank
might
you for joining
think
my show.
and be affected
Morning,
most
Craig Hubbard.
powerfully by what the teacher said to him out of frustration in that moment, without actually looking at the circumstances and understanding that he was being rebuked with good cause.
Yes, I did yesterday, Steve.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Steve
whereas
said
you've
he was held back.
recognized it in your
or not-
maturity.
Yeah, Steve Schultz said he was held back for daydreaming out the window.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Rachel! Did you just hear that?
I'm surprised that
Steve Phillips was held back.
Steve Schultz.
Steve Schultz was held back just for daydreaming out the window. I too was held back in 4th grade for doing the same thing. When they found out that there was much more there than just daydreaming, it was because I was having these absent seizures. It wasn't just daydreaming. I was actually having these absent seizures, but they didn't know that at the time, and so I got held back for daydreaming. So I'm right there with you, Steve.
Yeah, it can be rather complicated. Understanding ourselves and other people, like there's also a teacher who's held accountable for the grade that you get and whether or not you can pass a test. So they're under a certain amount of pressure to be sure that you're learning. And then if you're having an absent seizure, there's not a lot a teacher can do about that.
No.
Whether or not they understand that either is important.
And you don't know it at the time either.
Yeah, there was nothing that I could do. I really tried. When I was a kid, I really tried.
So you just absentmindedly started crawling on
I didn't like getting in trouble. I got hit in the head with rulers and pens by my kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're thinking she was mean.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's like, what is happening to this
Yeah.
classroom? I've got 20 students here that have to pass a test.
And this one
or
kid
I get
here,
fired.
I remember I was learning how to spell the word seal. So it was kindergarten. It was first. No, was it kindergarten or first? I think it was kindergarten. I think it was the word seal, S-E-A-L, or one of the letters in seal, or match the pictures or something. I can't remember what I was supposed to be doing. I remember there was a seal involved, and there was a picture of it as a worksheet. And all of our desks were along the outside of the walls. It was like basically bars, and you had a chair that came up to it. And I'm sitting there trying to do this.
The cubicle type thing with the dividers?
It may have had the cubicle type, but it was basically a table along the wall, and there I was sitting, doing whatever it was I was doing, or not doing whatever it is I was supposed to be doing, and I feel a crack right on my head. she was very frustrated with me and popped me in the head. Or maybe we all put our desks up against the wall. There's probably that. Anyways, I remember getting cracked in the head, though.
Right.
Try getting
Sit still. Do your work.
Try getting a knuckle on your head from your junior church teacher for not paying attention.
Morning, Jordan Applegate. Welcome to the
When
party.
you have a junior church teacher going around going, knocking on the head, that's why they said, be careful of Miss Knuckle. They call her Miss Knuckle.
Miss Knuckle.
No, but she got rebuked for that. She got called on the carpet for that, and that didn't happen anymore.
ADD was not fun for teachers, Dennis. Now, Julie said, I had ADHD, wasn't diagnosed until adulthood. Explains a lot now. And that is a real thing. And trust me, folks, and I say
Morning,
this all the
Nancy
time,
Garecki.
it is just as frustrating for the ADHD child as it is for the parents, because we don't like getting in trouble. What kid likes to get in trouble? Our actions override our brain and our thought process.
When it's an accurate diagnosis, it's very important. And it's crucial. It's critical.
And I was accurately diagnosed.
There can also be a liberal application of diagnoses to excuse someone from actual just bad behavior.
That's true. Well, I know when I took the medication, it calmed me down. Anytime
Was it Ritalin?
Yes. Anytime I took a stimulant of any kind, it calmed me down and made me focus.
I was
That also
told to
made me a
take Ritalin,
zombie.
but I didn't.
Well, I took Ritalin until I was 12, 13.
I was taking Dilantin.
Dilantin? Oh, my goodness.
It's a seizure medic because when they finally my neurologist at the time said, "Oh, he's a slow person. He's mentally retarded." He actually put that on the paperwork that I was mentally retarded, but not slow learner.
Yeah.
And so when he said that, I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
Really?
that's the word. That's the word they used to use. That was actually that wasn't a slander word like it is today.
It is now, but
that's not a cool word to use.
You're developmentally disabled.
Again, that's one of those words that if you use it in regarding somebody,
Right. That's even a bad word.
it is a very it has a very negative impact on whoever you're talking to.
There was a point, though, I think, where discipline was so ineffective that they knew something was actually up with the child themselves.
Yep. So I had a lot of negativity with the kids back in elementary school because we were all, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9.
My son Tanner says his ADHD, it's like a superpower. Well, because we can focus on like 5 things at once.
Tanner.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the fact that I've got 3 computer screens right here, and I know exactly what's going on each of them. And I can focus. Well, sometimes it's hard to talk and sit here and type and stuff, but I can type and talk to you.
I
at the
usually
same
wait
time.
for your response whether you respond or not. No, just kidding.
And I also know that my doctor had said that he's treated people for anxiety issues before and couldn't get them under control. But then he started treating them for adult ADHD and got the anxiety under control.
Yeah, well, I had that trouble with seizures for the long time, and when I was like, "Why? I'm not epileptic."
Oh wow, it's almost time.
Yeah, I'm not epileptic.
Is it that
but yet
time?
I'm taking a med that's supposed to be for.
What about
apoplectic
apoplectic?
seizures.
I don't know what that means,
But
but
you
it
have
sounds
something like it, right?
Yeah.
And was the effect, did the medication have a positive effect?
It might have, but I think I felt more negative than positive. It was supposed to. I guess it depends on who the person is, but it's
Right, so if it may have been effective in helping your the people who were responsible for you
right.
be able to meet their obligations and responsibilities, whereas you personally weren't actually personally
Right.
positively affected.
Because I later on, it's a long story, but I'm just going to say I found out later on, and those that know what pseudo seizures are, I don't know if you know what pseudo seizures.
They're little seizures.
No,
They're not?
those are grand mal. There's grand mal and petit mal. Petit
Yeah.
mals.
They don't call them that anymore. They call them partial seizures, or they did back in the day.
Oh, really?
I know what grand mal seizures are. My mom is epileptic. My biological mother is epileptic.
Okay.
And she was full on. She was out. You had to make sure she didn't bite her tongue off. Don't ever put your hands in the mouth of somebody
No.
who's having a seizure because they will bite your finger off.
I know a paramedic friend of mine that did that when he was out on the field the first year that he was out there. He didn't do it again because now he's fingerless. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I just appreciate everybody that's given me positive words, and I love you guys. That goes for you guys. And just pray for those people who are giving negative words because they might have had negative in their life.
And that may be all they know.
And that's why they become bullies.
Well, I'd like to say thank you guys for joining us on the morning drive this morning. Remember, your words are powerful, and choose them wisely whenever you're talking to somebody, because it could lift them up or it could push them down.
And choose wisely the words you let have power over you.
That's good. Very good. That's aha moment. So we'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be sure and tune in next for Brighter Living Live. No, The Spirit in America, with the same fellers that were here last week. And they sat here in a way I never actually thought of sitting, you know, right, one on this side pointing that way. Great idea. Great idea. So tune in for that, and then that's followed by the Crime Time with Dr. Steve Albrecht. So until then, my friends, God bless you and keep you. We love you. My name is Matt.
My name is Jay.
My name is Steve.
And this has been The Morning Drive. Sorry, I didn't have my thing up there yet.